If there's one thing I've learned after watching men fall to pieces over women, it's this: the moment you start explaining yourself, you start bleeding. You may not see it right away. You might even think you're being noble. I just wanted to be honest. I thought she deserved an explanation. I was trying to show I cared, but all she hears is this: I'm not sure of myself. And desire dies in that silence. You can almost hear it hit the floor, because what she feels isn't shaped by your words, it's shaped by your presence. And when that presence is fractured by over-justification, over-explaining, over-talking, you disappear. She doesn't feel you anymore. She sees a boy defending himself, not a man choosing himself. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to stop bleeding in front of her and start moving like the kind of man who doesn't explain. Because he doesn't have to. You start with the simplest principle you've never been taught: a woman doesn't read your sentences. She inhales your pauses. The air between your words is louder than any apology you paste over it, and that space is where attraction is born or starved. Think back to the last time you felt cornered. Maybe she asked why you didn't text back fast enough. Maybe she demanded a reason you canceled plans. Your pulse spiked. Your mind sprinted. And you flooded her with neat little bulletproof rationales, hoping each line would stitch the wound shut. But every syllable you offered was another confirmation you'd placed her judgment above your own anchor. She felt it. She always does. You tried to fix the tension with language, and in doing so, you confessed that the tension owned you. Picture a night downtown, the kind of Thursday that drips neon over wet asphalt. You're with a woman whose smile could ransom cities. Inside the bar, everything is loud, yet you can almost hear her thoughts slice through the music. Explain yourself to me? She leans in, brows lifted, voice sugar sharp. So what exactly are we? Your drink swirls untouched. Two roads open. One is bright, littered with justifications, disclaimers, and soft qualifiers that road feels safe. But it's where men go to be forgotten. The other road is dim and narrow, paved with silence and the slow burn of eye contact. You choose the second. You take a breath, feel the oak of your spine, and watch her wait. Seconds stretch into something primal. That pause is not empty. It's a declaration. In it, she hears, "I don't rush for approval." A flicker dances behind her eyes. She sips her cocktail, unsure if she should smile or retreat, and the game resets on your terms. Most men never taste that power because they worship clarity like a false god. They believe if they can just articulate their feelings well enough, the woman will relax and all will be well. Reality is harsher. Clarity kills curiosity, and curiosity is the heart of desire. When you text her paragraphs of context, you're showing her the magician's sleeve, revealing every hidden string. The show dies. She may thank you for the honesty, even hug you for being mature, but deep inside, something sterile settles where the wild pulse used to be. The common mistake is thinking you can maintain excitement while offering complete transparency. You can't. Mystery isn't deception. It's the respect you pay to polarity. So here's your challenge. One that will knot your stomach the first time you try it for the next 72 hours. Refuse to explain yourself to anyone. If you're late, you're late. If you change your mind, you change your mind. You can still be courteous, but replace reasons with assertions. Something came up. We'll talk later. That's it. Notice how your body rebels, how you itch to add more words, to convince the other person you're still good, still worthy, still safe. Sit with that itch. It's the rusted chain you've worn since boyhood, forged by teachers, parents, and well-meaning friends who told you that being liked is the same as being respected. It isn't. Let the chain rattle and fall. When someone demands a footnote to your decision, give them a period instead. Watch how many of them lean closer, suddenly alert, as if smelling rain after weeks of drought. You'll find a paradox waiting in the silence the less you clarify, the clearer you become. Your presence no longer fractures into defensive shards. It stands solid. A monolith she can walk around but never fully map. That monolith is what draws her hands to trace the edges, her mind to fill the blank spaces with color. You aren't manipulating her. You're finally giving her something real to respond to. And she responds with what she can't craft herself: respect. fascination, a slow rupturing ache that hums in the gap your words used to clog. But the real test arrives when her curiosity turns to frustration. She'll push. She has to. Not because she hates you, not because she's toxic, but because she needs to know, is your silence a mask or a fortress? One night, she'll twist toward you in bed, bare shoulder in the half-dark, voice low but loaded. Why won't you just tell me what you're thinking? And here, most men fail. They crack under the weight of her confusion. They think, this is the moment to reassure her, to pour out my thoughts, to be vulnerable like all those articles said. But what she's really doing is testing the integrity of your walls, not to tear them down, but to feel if they're real. So you don't explain. You don't deflect. You hold her gaze, maybe touch her face, and say the simplest thing a man can say without betraying himself. You don't need to understand me tonight. You say it calmly, without heat. And then you roll onto your back, or you close your eyes, or you kiss her without further comment. In that moment, you're not being distant. You're giving her something rarer than answers weight. The weight of a man rooted deeper than her moods, deeper than her tests. And that weight makes her feel safe in the way her words can't admit. Because when a man doesn't explain, it signals he's already chosen his center and nothing she says can move it. Now here's what most men never see. Women don't desire explanations. They desire certainty. And certainty speaks in action, not in justifications. You don't prove your truth to her with clever sentences. You prove it when you say no and don't wince. When you leave a party early without apologizing. When you stop responding to passive-aggressive texts that bait you into defense. When you end a conversation not with a spiral of excuses but with a quiet, "We'll talk later." These are not tactics. They are thresholds. You either cross them, or you remain the soft-spoken boy who over-articulates because he's terrified of being misunderstood. You will be misunderstood. And the moment you accept that, truly absorb it, is the moment you become immune to it. It's the moment your presence starts communicating without the clutter. It's the moment women begin to feel a new tension in you, one that neither flatters nor defends, only exists. And in the world of masculine polarity, existence is erotic. Not performance, not persuasion, presence. She won't tell you this. Hell, she may not even know it. But deep in her body, a different kind of signal fires when a man refuses to explain. It's ancient. It says he doesn't need my understanding to breathe. And that triggers the deepest attraction of all the pull toward the man who does not orbit her emotional weather. Because when you don't explain, you're not being cold. You're being unshakable. And if you truly become unshakable, she'll want to be the one who gets close to the fire without putting it out. Let it burn. Let her watch. Let her wonder how you can move through her storms without bending. Let her throw every question she can summon, every emotional flare, until she realizes the only thing more intoxicating than your answers is your refusal to give them. And when that realization hits her, it won't look like a movie moment. No kiss in the rain, no trembling confession. It'll come in silence, in the way her eyes linger longer than usual when you walk out of a room, in the way she starts studying your face for clues you never give, in the way her tone softens, not because she's trying to manipulate, but because she's realizing she can't. That's when her desire deepens, not for what she can get from you, but for what she can't reach. That part of you that belongs only to you. Untouched, unexplained. Every woman is drawn to that, not the words. The wall? But here's where the weak man panics. He confuses emotional availability with emotional vulnerability. He believes that love must be proven through spilling every fear, doubt, and wound the moment it arises. He becomes a faucet, leaking out his essence at the slightest request. He thinks it's romantic. She thinks it's pathetic. And she won't tell him why the sex gets less passionate. Why her eyes dim after every just wanted to be honest text. Why she slowly starts picking fights, anything to feel something raw from him again. Something earned instead of handed over like a confession in a therapy circle. So let me break this truth into bone for you the moment you explain yourself. You become ordinary. And women are not built to crave the ordinary. They will marry it, settle for it, even pretend to love it, but they do not burn for it. They burn for the man who keeps one room of his soul locked, even if he gives her the rest of the house. The man who makes her earn not just his body, but his trust. The man who says no without hostility, yes without performance, and nothing at all without fear. You'll know you're on the right path when silence stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like a choice. The room goes quiet after her accusation, her demand, her plea, and you do not rush to fill it. That pause. That's your throne. Sit in it. Let the seconds thicken. Let her feel the gravity of your stillness. You're not ignoring her. You're letting her confront something most women never get to see: a man who doesn't bleed words to avoid discomfort. A man who would rather be misunderstood than be emasculated by his own mouth. This doesn't mean you never speak. It means you only speak when there's something worth saying. It means you don't use language as a shield or a bribe. It means when you say, "That's just how I move." It comes from a place deeper than confidence. It comes from sovereignty. And that sovereignty is the one thing you can't fake, can't rehearse, can't explain. You live it. And the more you live it, the more they feel it. Not just women, everyone. Because in the end, your life is not a courtroom. You don't owe the world a defense every time you choose something. Your job is not to convince her or anyone that your soul has a reason. It doesn't need one. It needs direction. And when you walk in that direction without looking back, without justifying your steps, without holding your breath for someone's approval, you become what every man secretly wants to be: untouchable. Not in arrogance, but in essence. And she'll follow. Not because you begged, not because you explained, but because in your refusal to explain, you gave her the one thing no words ever could: something real to chase.